I made a mistake and I put it out there on the internet, on a podcast, and a bunch of different clips for the whole world to see, assess, and tear me down. Luckily, the folks that contributed to showing me and proving to me that I was completely wrong, I'm so thankful for. And luckily people chimed in. It was almost unanimous. There were some people that were like seeing through, oh, okay, I see your point, but you just have a terminological error here. So I put out something on gentle parenting and my qualms with gentle parenting. As it turns out, what I was talking about for almost every point that I made was not gentle parenting. It was actually permissive parenting. And the key difference being between permissive parenting and gentle parenting, essentially gentle parenting is really being attuned to your kids' emotions and understanding and being very empathetic with them and the things that they're experiencing and the frustrations and challenges and all across the spectrum of their feelings while still maintaining strong, healthy boundaries. Permissive parenting, on the other hand, which is what I was addressing, although I called it gentle parenting, permissive parenting is the one I really do not like. This is the one where you see kids that just run the show. The parents they're not consistent in any sort of boundary setting or punishment or anything like this. And so I went in on this whole little bit and I put it out there. I'm leaving it up there if you want to go listen to it. But my apology here is that I'm sorry that I got the terminology wrong in what I was addressing. This is not gentle parenting that I was addressing. It's actually permissive parenting. Gentle parenting, I am very much for. And I chat a little bit about that in the video as well, that it's like, hey, I like this. And I described what is gentle parenting in some essence. And it's like, yeah, that's what I'm for. But permissive parenting was my enemy. That was the target that I had there. So that was my mistake. And luckily for me, the random strangers on the internet, you go to TikTok and I have a bunch of comments on this one or two videos that people were just going in and schooling me. And one of the comments was hilarious to me. It was very well played. One of the comments said, so in the video, let me give you context. In the video, I had just sat down in my studio to record a bit about permissive parenting, but calling it gentle parenting for that bit. And my 3-year-old came in and he sat down right when I was right when I pressed record to start recording. And instead of like shunning him out of the room, I just plopped him on my lap and I was like, yeah, I'll just talk to you for a little bit, whatever. So I'm talking to him, and so in this video clip, he's sitting on my lap and I'm talking to him. I'm like, hey, do you know what gentle parenting is? And then I described to him what I described was permissive parenting, but I'm telling him, hey, this is gentle parenting, whatever. So fast forward, clip goes out on TikTok. And at Dynamic Daddy on TikTok, this video on gentle parenting, this little clip, this one comment just killed me. It was so well played. Somebody was like, I don't know, I don't typically teach my kids stuff until I know what it is that I'm actually talking about, but hey, that's just me, or something like that. And it was just such a good jab at like, dude, you're totally wrong. You're talking about permissive parenting. Usually I don't just tell my kids all kind of nonsense that I don't know or haven't looked up or I haven't learned or whatever myself. And I thought that was very well played. The reason I think that's well played is because I play that role too. When I see somebody putting stuff out there and I hear what they're talking about, and it's like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, did you not look this up? Now, in my case, a terminological error, sure, great. Attack me for that, correct me for that, which is what happened. And I'm very thankful for that, honestly, because it led me to an even deeper dive into these parenting styles. But I also have this sense of when somebody uses the wrong terminology, but they give explanation to it, it's like, whatever, use whatever word you get, whatever word you want. I get the point that you're making. Yeah, it's called something else, but that's not that big of a deal when people explain it thoroughly. Now, I didn't have that fortune because this was a short clip on TikTok, of course. In the long form, anybody that would listen to it, I would assume, would see that same understanding of like, oh, he's talking about permissive parenting, but he's just calling it gentle parenting. So you see that nuance there. Now, I started this video off with, I messed up, and I'm sharing kind of the corrective things that I did. I did a little bit deeper dive, and I got to make sure I'm more sharp with my terminology and even the little clips that I put out there, whatever. And I'm going to do better with this. However, I'm also using this as an exercise of making mistakes and then owning those mistakes. So this is my apology. This is my, I'm sorry, and I am going to do better at looking up, researching, making sure my terminology is accurate as best I can as I'm going forward. That said, it made me think about apologies in general. And there are very different types of apologies. For example, if you've ever had somebody that says, hey, sorry you feel this way about something that went on, that struck you, that hurt you, that makes you feel some type of way. And the apology you get when you beg for it or fight for it is, I'm sorry you feel that way. And they put it on you as if whatever this chaotic experience that happened is your fault for feeling a certain way. And I'm like, man, there's a lot of different ways to apologize. I still need a lot of work on how I apologize, especially for certain scenarios. And it got me thinking about, when is a conditional apology, like, I'm sorry you feel that way, like, when is that actually a good fit? Because I know the ego gets in the way so much for me, where I want to sit like, that's my thing. Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. And it's like my ego just flaring up, whatever, in certain instances. But there are times where an apology like that is actually really healthy and permitted. And so I'm trying to think, what is it? When is it that a conditional apology, when you say, I'm sorry that you feel this way, or you're experiencing whatever it is you're experiencing, when is that actually good? And the first thing that popped to mind to me was when there's a challenge of your core values, that you genuinely are sorry that the other person is hurt, but you are not going to change how you behaved because you acted in accordance with your core values. Here's an example. One of my core values is to tell the truth, is to be honest, tell the truth, right? And if I tell the truth and hurt somebody's feelings and crush their feelings, which I have done before, and it's not enjoyable to do that, right? But if that turns into some sort of a big conflict or some sort of mess from this, I'm not sorry that I held true to my core values. That's what I'm striving to live my life like. So I'm not sorry that I told the truth, but I am sorry that you're feeling bad about the truth, that you're feeling ill feelings, whatever they may be, because of the truth. I'm not sorry about that. So that's one instance that conditional apology I think is actually fitting. Like, don't try to knock me off of my virtues, like my core values. I'm all for debating those things, but when you're trying to make me feel bad for living by my core values, that's when I'm not just going to cower and let you walk all over me and force an apology of a certain way or certain thing. So that's one instance where a conditional apology, I'm sorry you feel that way, I'm sorry you are having this experience, that's one instance where I'm like, yeah, I actually dig that. Most cases though, that's not the type of apology that needs to happen. It's usually a genuine, hey, I'm sorry about what happened, or I'm sorry about my actions that I took, or whatever it is, right? A legitimate apology there. And then you have the fix it apology. You own what happened, you own your behavior, you own the mistake, whatever it is, and you share how you're going to fix it moving forward. So this is your, hey, I am sorry that I left you on red and didn't reply. Moving forward, I'm going to try to reply to you the moment that I open your text message, whatever that is, right? That's an example of the sorry and fix it. I'm going to improve from here. This isn't just, I'm saying sorry because this happened and we can do this for the rest of life. This is, I'm sorry that this happened and I hope to improve in this way so that you can sort of expect this type of behavior moving forward when we encounter this sort of experience. When this thing pops up, here's how you can expect me to behave, and work on improving my reaction or response in how I respond to situations like that. So these different apologies, I don't know when I learned that there's a way to apologize. It was definitely well into adulthood, like I would say late 20s, that I learned, oh, you actually can apologize well and you can apologize poorly, and then everything in between. There's a spectrum of this. And I'm like, dang, I wish I knew that when I was younger, because it would have solved and avoided a lot of major conflicts, from friendships to even like romantic partners and relationships to, I don't really think the case with strangers, because like I said, for the most part, when it comes to battles of the core values or virtues, I think that's usually what you encounter with strangers. It's not like you have deep connections that you go, hey, you behaved differently than you typically do to a stranger because you don't have the background of how they usually act. But man, if I knew how to apologize better when I was younger, I would have avoided a lot of pain on my own as well as pain that I inflicted on other people. So I don't know who needs to hear this or who this would help, but if you spend 5 minutes learning a few different ways to apologize, it can serve you tremendously. And then, as I like to do across anything in life, I always look at I look at the odds, right? What are the odds that I experience, and you can learn a lot about this looking backward in your life, but what are the odds that I experience this type of scenario versus that type of scenario? A scenario where I need a fix-it apology or a scenario where I need a conditional apology? And I'm just gonna play the odds here. I'm gonna go, well, most likely I need a legitimate apology and a fix-it behavior. Like, here's what I'm gonna do to fix it moving forward. If that's the most frequent thing, then that's the one I'm gonna work on memorizing. That's the one I'm gonna work on really harnessing in. And then once you have that dialed, once you have that down, you can move on to the next highest percentage thing. That makes things so much easier. You don't have to tackle it all at once. Same is true with health, with fitness, with physical fitness. It's like, what is my overall goal and what is the most likely thing I'm gonna face? Is it gonna be the cost of being healthy and fit for food, for nutrition? Is it gonna be time? The time spent going to and from the gym. I mean, that was one of the things for me, which is why we built a home gym, because I'm like, I don't want to spend all this time to commute. I love going to the gym. I miss the community of going to a gym, but it's just not feasible. 2 kids under 4, not my jam right now. So the home gym is like, yeah, that's the thing. So if time is the main constraint, that's the thing I'm going to run into as the highest odds of a constraint to me getting healthy. How do I solve that in the largest percentage way possible? Same is true for apologies. Same is true for even compliments or conversation starters. Go with the high percentage things first, and from there you're going to be very well equipped, and you'll see a massive improvement early on versus later on. So that's it. I messed up. I called permissive parenting, gentle parenting. I put it all out there. It's still on a podcast. It's still on the clips. I'm going to leave them up there, and I'm going to do so knowing that not everybody that watched those is going to watch this, or listened to those is going to listen to this. That's totally fine. But I do apologize. I will try to do better moving forward with my terminology and what I'm addressing and what I'm teaching my kids before I learn the thing that I'm teaching my kids, which there's a lot of truth to that, and I respect it. But there's also, I don't believe you're ever going to learn enough. I don't believe you're ever going to be prepared enough. I'm like go all in and fix it on the fly. So yes, do a little bit of learning, a little bit of research, whatever, before you teach your kids. But at the same time, you can learn these things together. You can learn these later. You can make mistakes and correct them and so on and so forth. And that's part of the lessons that I want to teach my kids, which is why I decided I'm going to press record and share this message right here. So that's that. Thanks for tuning in. So much love to you all. If you're not subscribed to this channel, the YouTube channel, YouTube at Dynamic Daddy, or go on the Anthony Thomas podcast, because this will be the available audio anywhere you listen to your podcast. And then the weekly newsletter, the Better Dad Bulletin. You can subscribe to that. It's in the channel everywhere. It's wherever you're listening to this or watching this. You just go to the channel, go to the description, and it'll be there. It's free. All of these things are completely free to you. Join, and I'm just working on trying to build a better community of dads, of parents all around, specifically chatting to dads. That's who I can relate to the most. And I'm all ears for whatever ways we can improve and keep growing for our kids, for the family. Much love.